I go for refuge, Dharma and Sangha, by my accumulations through practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha, by my accumulations through practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha, by my accumulations through practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sanje Joda Zoge Chonam Noi Chanchu Bardo Tani Gyapsosh Tage Jinso Gebezo Tola Benjir Sanje Jubarai Sho Sanje Joda Zoge Chonam Chanchu Bardo Tani Gyapsosh Tage Jinso Gebezo Rola Benjir Sanje Jubarai Sho Sanje Joda Zoge Chonam Chancho bardo dane gyapsush dage jinso kebe sonam ge chola penjire sangye chubare sho Om ye dharma he tum te sham data gato yavatat te sham chayo niroda Evam Bhate Mahashramanaye Swaha Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Data Gato Yavatat Tesham Chayo Niroda Evam Bhate Mahashramanaye Swaha Om Ye Dharma Hetu Tathagato Yavatat Tesham Chayo Niroda Evam Bhate Mahashramanaye Swaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation causes as well as taught by the great seer. Okay, since that this afternoon, what time? 1:30 is going to be the talk offering. And then this is going to be the last session for this retreat. And then after this, yes, we have 2 classes, Nalanda Master's course, Nalanda course, and anybody who likes to join, you most welcome. You can join. And if there is anybody leaving right after the lunch, is anybody who's leaving right after lunch? Right after lunch, no one. Okay. So what I'm saying this is that then we at Tibet House brought some bracelets and the small booklet for each of the participants. And in case if somebody is there who has to leave right for lunch before the next meeting, then I'm thinking of giving that before that. So if not, then it's fine. And Sitrunla and Rajinder, you help me to bring those books in the next session. Okay. So we continue from this text before I do the question answers. So there are several questions. Okay. We're on verse number 6. Verse number 6. Now, so we're done with the 3 points, 3 subheadings of the renunciation. Next is bodhicitta. Again, same. Why do generate bodhicitta? How to generate bodhicitta? And the measure of having generate bodhicitta. Verse number 6 is why do generate bodhicitta? Renunciation, if not tempered by pure mind of bodhicitta, however, will not bring forth the perfect bliss of unsurpassed enlightenment. Finally, we have the capacity to become enlightened, fully enlightened. We have the capacity to experience fearless, not only fearlessness, but also infinite happiness. With the renunciation, just by the renunciation, at the most it can take us to the fearlessness, not infinite happiness. So you have the capacity to experience not only fearlessness but also infinite happiness. Why are you not going for that? We can reach there, but how? So if you get stuck with the personal liberation, then you will not you will not get the full enlightenment. For that matter, renunciation, if not tempered by the pure-minded Bodhisattva, however, will not bring forth the perfect bliss of unsurpassed enlightenment, which is infinite happiness or Buddhahood. Therefore, the wise ones generate the excellent mind of bodhicitta. And it is said that just for information, the seniors, they already know, but the newcomers for you, that those who seek personal liberation, not seeking Buddhahood, and they finally they abide in this experience of the joy, this enormous bliss of the eradication, cleansing of the afflictive obscurations, then they stay in this experience of the emptiness. And it is said that nobody can wake them up from this meditative state. This meditative state is so powerful that nobody can wake them. Even if you just lift the person up and throw, the person still in a meditative state. Physical movement will not stir the person's meditation. This is the strength, the power of the meditation. There's such meditation. But there's only one factor which can wake them up from this meditative poise, is a Buddha's blessings. So when somebody in that state attain total freedom from samsara, stay in this meditation, they have this confidence that nobody can disturb them. Nobody, even if you just make the loudest of the noise, will not stir them from the meditation. Then the Buddha snaps in the ear, and then they wake up. They wake up from from this meditative state, and they were just wondering, who stirs my meditation? Who stirs me from the meditation? Nobody can do that. And then the person would see the Buddha there. Then the Buddha would say that even though you are freed from this samsara, the ocean of samsara, but still you have not attained perfection. If you want to attain perfection, you have to follow the minor path. If you don't believe in this, look at me. So the Buddha would tell him or her to look at the Buddha. Then seeing the Buddha, yes, then you could see difference, that he or she is incomplete and Buddha is somebody blazing with perfection. And for this, you have to follow the minor path. So this is how they are then taken into the minor path. So it is said that if you follow the minor path directly, then it will take maximum 3 countless eons. If you go the other way around, say the first personal liberation path, and then you attain nirvana, then you follow the Bodhisattva path, it'll take 40 countless eons. Pure directly Bodhisattva path, 3 countless eons. But from the other way, it takes 40 countless eons. You're getting it? So the wisest thing is directly go into rather than having to waste 40 countless eons. Okay, this is the message. So it says that renunciation, simply by renunciation, it will take you maximum to the personal liberation, not to Buddhahood, not to the perfection of your full awakening. It will not happen. So what will make you have full awakening? Bodhicitta. This is why bodhicitta is to be attained. 7. Swept up in the current of the 4 powerful rivers, tied by strong bonds of karma so hard to undo, caught in the iron net of self-grasping, completely enveloped by the darkness of ignorance, born and reborn in boundless cyclic existence, ceaselessly tormented by the 3 miseries, think of your mothers in this condition, generate the supreme mind of bodhicitta. So, verse number 6 is the reason why we need to generate bodhicitta. Number 6. Then number 7, number 8 is how to generate bodhicitta. How to generate bodhicitta. How to generate bodhicitta? For the complete answer, the 2 methods. 2 methods to generate bodhicitta. What are the 2 methods? Anyone? Raise your hands. 2 methods. Samale, 2 methods. Okay, Mike.
Geshe, the first one is the sevenfold cause-effect method, and the second one is the equalizing and exchanging self with others.
Thank you so much, Lamala. The sevenfold cause-effect method to generate bodhicitta, and the method of equalizing and exchanging self for others to generate bodhicitta. These two methods. So that is the complete method, and the so what is taught here is a very succinct one. Broadly speaking, to generate bodhicitta, we require two things. One is, first we need to feel this affection towards the beings. To feel the affection, we need to build this affection. Once you build the affection, then you want to do something good. To do something good, others should be deprived of the good things. You getting it? For example, the mother loves the child so much. This love and affection is number one. Then when the child is sick, then the mother wants to see how to help. When the child is deprived of happiness, the mother is just wondering how to give the happiness. So two things. One is to build this affection towards the beings, to build the unconditional love towards the infinite beings. Number one. Number two, to see the plight of the sentient beings, that they are suffering and that they are deprived of happiness. And then when these two things are intact in you, then your mind will spontaneously flow, wishing that may you be free from suffering, may you have the maximum happiness. The next question is, who's going to do that? What's the answer? I will do it myself. I will do it. That's altruism. And the next question is, how will you do it? That is by becoming Buddha. You're getting it? May I become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. So all these things are explained in these two methods. So with this mind, verse number 7 and 8 just takes for granted that we have already built this affection towards the beings. Affection to the beings. We've already built that. Once that, then you see the plight of the sentient beings. Number 7 is to see the plight of the sentient beings, to see that beings are suffering terribly, swept up in the current of 4 powerful rivers. Meaning that, for example, just imagine that a mother and child, you are the mother, and all the beings are like children, and they are in such a situation that they are being washed away by a very 4 powerful rivers. Like what? These metaphors: a river of attachment, river of anger, river of ignorance, and the river of wrong views. River of 3 poisons: river of attachment, river of aversion, river of ignorance, and the river of wrong views. So with these 4, they are very powerful. For example, like within us, what's the intensity of attachment? What's the intensity of the anger? Say somebody who's very calm and peaceful, very gentle, nice. When somebody is provoked badly, sometimes the person can really become mad with anger. So that is how we are being washed away by the currents of these 4 poisons. Tied by strong bonds of karma. Say, even though we want, just imagine that they say you are washed away by the river. What is the chance? Was very forceful river. What's the chance of freedom? The escape? Very less chance. And that should not only just carry washed by the river, but you are encaged in the iron cage in the same river, but you are not freely just washed away, but put in the iron cage. So tied by strong bonds of the karma. Okay, you're bound by the karma with the rope. Then what's the chance? Chance is much less. Then they caught in the iron net of self-grasping, and that too you're bound, plus you are put in a cage. What's the chance of escape? Didi? Much less, almost no chance. And then that the outside is completely dark. By accidentally, the cage hits a rock in the middle of the river. Cage broke. And then some accidentally somehow they say the rope, they hits somewhere like the small rock or whatever. Then the rope also break, and then you're washed away to the bank of the river. Accidentally, just 0.0009% chance. You're thrown away by the current of the river, and it's completely dark, and wild elements may be waiting there for you, right? Very scary. This is samsara. You're getting it? To think of very seriously, it is like this. It's like this. Only thing is that when you have a cheesecake in front of you, and your friends are there, somebody buys you a ticket for the what? Bus ticket to this, or somebody says, go, go, go. And then you feel so like, it's like ignorance is bliss. We live in the bliss. Actually, this is not the reality. This is reality. The chance for us to escape from samsara, to stop the tears, is like 0.000 the 0.001% chance. If you don't believe, how many human beings are on planet Earth? Forget about the trillions creatures. How many beings on the planet Earth? 8 billion human beings. Out of the 8 billion human beings, how many people heard about the wisdom of emptiness to stop the tears of samsara? Only a handful. You're getting it? From that point of view, yes, that's very true. The chance is so less. Okay, so Sutra in the current of 4 powerful rivers, tied by the strong bonds of karma, so hard to undo, caught in the iron net of self-grasping. So, what is that net? What is that cage? Is your self-grasping is the cage, and completely enveloped in the darkness of ignorance. What darkness? Ignorance. Ignorance means you don't see the reality. In doubt, you don't see the reality. So, what's the ignorance? Ignorance to see that things are all 100 objectively real. That's the ignorance. 24/7. We live in darkness of ignorance. 24/7 we continue to see things as object real. It's very scary. Okay. 8. And now in this process, then the beings go through miseries, so much of miseries, 3 kinds of miseries. Born and reborn in boundless cyclic existence, ceaselessly tormented by the 3 miseries. Okay, I don't want to go too much into this. So, what are 3 miseries? Suffering, bandela. What? Suffering, change. Pervasive condition, suffering. Very good. Anyone? What does it mean by suffering? Quick. What is suffering? Quick. Anyone? Airy. Sickness. That all the evident pains that we go through. That's suffering. And Tenzin Sherula, what is suffering? Change. Say it again. Which one? The food on the hook? That is only for the fish, not for us. Yes. Mundane happiness. All mundane happiness is suffering of change. Okay. Why is suffering? Okay, 2 questions. I'm not going to go here. And I don't want to. I will just ask the 2 questions, and then you can discuss in the group discussion. Now you have no time for group discussion, right? During the lunchtime you discuss. Okay, so one is why the mundane happiness, all mundane happiness that we go through, they are suffering change. But don't just say this is suffering, right? How it is suffering? You have to ask how is suffering. Question number 1. Number 2, why is that known as suffering change? 2 questions. Until you get a convincing answer, you don't accept it. You're getting it? Okay, suffering change. What's the 3rd? Pervasive condition suffering. What examples do we have? Pervasive condition suffering. What examples do you have? Anyone? No one? Okay. The Tinzirandula. Involuntary birth in samsara. And then Tinzishila? Seeing the dream is real. Yes, this is the worst of the pervasive condition suffering. Now here also with the different examples, and let's say our being under the control of karmas and afflictions. Our being under the control of the contaminant karmas and afflictions, there's also pervasive condition suffering. Let me say this. Involuntary birth in samsara. 1. Number 2, apprehending things as objectively real. 2, in other words, self-grasping ignorance. Then number 3, being under the control, being under the control of contaminated karmas and afflictions. Number 3, and all the contaminated neutral feelings. Contaminated neutral feelings. These are all the examples of pervasive conditioned suffering. Now, the next question is, why these are known as pervasive? Why these are known as conditioned? Why these are suffering? How they are suffering? These 2 questions related to the third one. Okay, done. Now next, ceaselessly tormented by 3 miseries. Thinking of your mothers. So here, mothers, that is with respect to having developed a very strong affection towards all the beings, with the help of the what Hamula said as of the 2 methods to generate bodhicitta. The first one, the method of sevenfold cause effect method to generate bodhicitta. So with this, you think of all beings as your mothers. How? So you have a mother in this life, so kind, loving, caring, and then oftentimes, unless the children, they were explained that the parents are very kind, very kind, very kind. Unless they're explained, the children, they tend to take for granted. You're getting it? And the children, by the time they reach age 14, 15, 16, they start to have an aversion towards the parents. This is what happens until the children are introduced, told, informed that the parents are so kind. Otherwise, they will not understand it. They take for granted. So why I'm saying this is that when I see how the parents suffer so much, for their children, when I see that, then if the children cannot see that, then the children, they accumulate so much of negative karma. How the parents, they really sacrifice their life for the children. And then children take for granted that, so what, you are a nuisance. It's so like the parents, you're a nuisance to me. You're a problem to me. So this is where things are going wrong. Okay, so for example, say in the Indian tradition, and they say likewise from India, Tibetans, we inherited that. So from India, the Tibetans, then all along the Asian countries, and they say the emphasis on the importance of the parents is so much there. When that part is missing, then the children, when they reach age 16, 17, they feel more independent. Then they leave the nest, and then they see the parents as nuisance. Taken for granted their love and affection. This is very sad. Okay, so it says that born and reborn in boundless cyclic existence, ceaselessly tormented by the 3 miseries. Thinking of your mothers in this condition and generate the supreme mind of bodhicitta, that I will protect all my mothers, all the dear sentient beings, unto its ultimate happiness. That is the how to generate bodhicitta. What is next? Measure of having generated bodhicitta. So it is not mentioned here. Number 3, measure of having generated bodhicitta is not explained here because you have to take it from the renunciation. So this is very easy. The renunciation, it says what? In days and nights, if you feel that you strive for liberation, for nirvana, without attachment to the samsaric splendors, at that point you have generated renunciation. Now apply the same thing here. Days and nights, if you strive to attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all demon sentient beings, that is the bodhicitta. That is the measure of having generated bodhicitta. Let me say this again. Days and nights, if your mind spontaneously wish to become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings, that is the measure of having generated bodhicitta, which we have to take it from renunciation. You getting it? Okay, now bodhicitta done. The next. What is next? Wisdom of emptiness, what? Why? Why do we generate the wisdom of emptiness? Number 9. Although you train in renunciation and the mind of bodhicitta, without the wisdom that realizes the ultimate reality, if you don't realize the wisdom of emptiness, you cannot cut the root of cyclic existence. Therefore, strive to understand dependent arising. So, if you don't have the wisdom of emptiness, you will not know how to cut this cyclic existence, and samsara, which is very scary, you cannot be freed from that. Therefore, you have to see emptiness. It says here, therefore strive to understand dependent arising. So, dependent arising and emptiness, these two are the two sides of the same coin. You getting it? Okay. And then particularly when somebody goes deeper into study, reflection, meditation, and practice, when you go deeper, then you will realize why Lama Tsongkhapa said here, therefore strive to understand dependent origination, instead of saying, therefore strive to understand emptiness. You understand the reason there. I remember many years ago, perhaps like 20 years ago, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, in one of the teachings here, I think whether it's a teaching on the three principal aspects of the path or some other teachings, some way His Holiness cited this, saying that it is said, therefore strive to understand dependent arising, and not said, therefore strive to understand emptiness. So they say, with the emptiness side and dependent origination, with emptiness, all your destructive emotions like fear, attachment, anger, jealousy, all these will start. For example, like how many you use these trainer? Raise hands. How many you use these trainer? Raise hands. Okay, Dogala, tell me what does the teeth strainer do? Why do you use teeth strainer? Huh? It filters what? Cheesecake. It filters teeth and what? Okay. So what Dogala is saying is that it filters the drinkable tea, and the non-drinkable tea leaves will be held back. Right? Non-drinkable tea residue will be stopped, and the drinkable tea will be let flow freely. You're getting it? So this purpose of tea strainer. So it has two purposes. What is drinkable, let it flow very freely. What is not drinkable, it stops it. You agree? Okay, those who no experience with tea strainer. You never used tea strainer. You used? Okay. The boy over there behind Benla, you used tea strainer? Good. Be very honest. Who doesn't know what is tea strainer? Raise hands. Who doesn't know what is tea strainer? Okay, I know there's some you don't know what is tea strainer, but you feel shy. Like this boy who Ajirji always shares the story with us, right? Right? Cow is the one where you get the milk which you drink every day. This cow is the one. And the boy said, what? No, it's not. It doesn't come from the cow. It comes from the bottle. You're getting it? So many people think that, not many, maybe some boys who do not know what is tea strainer. Dorji, do you know that tea strainer? Are you sure? Well, when Dorji will say yes, it means yes. Okay, so the tea strainer's job is to let flow the drinkable tea freely, and non-drinkable tea residue, it will stop it. Likewise, the wisdom of emptiness. By seeing emptiness, all the non-drinkable tea leaves or the tea residues, like the destructive emotions, attachment, anger, jealousy, and so forth, and the fears, they will all be stopped by seeing the emptiness. Other side, dependent origination, it let flows all the virtuous minds flow freely, like compassion and so forth. Let these virtuous minds grow freely. So it says, Lama Tsongkhapa said, therefore strive to understand dependent arising. What is the job of the Bodhisattvas? To let flow compassion freely. You're getting it? So that is more from the side of the dependent origination, dependent arising. So with respect to the Bodhisattvas, you have to be very active, not just stop. For example, like some people say that, says small children, should you introduce Buddhism to small children? If you introduce Buddhism to small children, then they will say everything is impermanent. There's no point in studying. Right? No. The things are dependent originated. If you study, you will succeed in life. If you don't study, you will not succeed in life. Dependent origination. Impermanence doesn't mean that everything will annihilate. You're getting it? This is a misunderstanding. You're getting it? So therefore, to get the correct information is so important. Think of the emptiness and dependent origination, two sides of the same coin. By seeing emptiness, what happens? All the destructive emotions will be stopped. Your fears stop. Your attachment stop. Your anger stop. Your tears stop. And then by seeing the dependent origination, what happens? All your virtuous minds, like compassion, so forth, will grow, will flow freely. You're getting it? Okay. So therefore, strive to understand emptiness. Then the next, the one who sees infallible cause and effect of phenomena in samsara and nirvana. On the one hand, you see cause and effect dependent origination. On the other hand, destroys all focus of apprehension, meaning all focus of apprehension, meaning destroys the objective existence. All focus of the appearance has entered the path which pleases the Buddhas. So, in other words, when you see emptiness, at the same time you accept the functionality of the world, cause and effect. Well, when these two things you are able to combine together in harmony, that is the path that pleases the Buddhas, which means that you have got the right understanding of emptiness. So the next. Okay, so what is the number 9 is what? Why we should generate the wisdom of emptiness. Then number 10 and below is how to see the emptiness. Number 10 below. One who sees the infallible cause and effect of all phenomena in samsara and nirvana is one side, which is one who sees the infallible cause and effect. What is dependent origination? Number 3 meaning third line, and destroys all focus of apprehension. What do you mean by focus of apprehension? Destroys the objective existence of things. So if you are able to see these two, they bring these two things together. One is the dependent origination of functionality, cause and effect, and on the other side, destroying all apprehension of objective existence. Two together, that person has entered the path which pleases Buddhas. Next 11. So it's a continuation. How to generate the wisdom of emptiness. It's continuation. Appearances are infallible, dependent arising. So what we said is that. Okay. What is that? What do you see here? The flower. And now it's easy for you. Say, do you agree with me that it's nothing but made of pool of atoms? You agree? Trillions of atoms there. On the objective level, there's no flower. You agree? But it does appear as flower to you. Okay, does it appear as flower? From the object, there's no flower. But it appears as flower. And it does not appear as chocolate. Why not? You agree? From the object, there's no flower. It's just pool of atoms. None of the atoms is a flower. But with the conventional analysis, you see a flower. You agree? You see a flower and you don't see a chocolate. On the object, there's nothing there as a flower or chocolate. But subjectively, you only see flower, not as a chocolate, not a house, not as this, that, and so forth. So you precisely see as a flower. And if I burn it, the flower disappears. You're getting it? There's a functionality there. There's a functionality there. So this functionality is seen on what level? Conventional analysis, not by the ultimate analysis. So on the functionality of the world operates on which level? On the conventional level, not on the ultimate level. Okay, so number 11, appearances as flower, as functional world, and so forth. Appearances are infallible, dependent, and arising. So these appearances, by dependence of these factors, only flower appears. It's dependent origination. It's not randomly appearing something. Dependent origination. Appearances are infallible, dependent, and arising. What is infallible? What's the meaning of infallible? What's the meaning of infallible? Anyone? Vera?
Unmistakably.
Infallible, unmistakably. Very good. Thank you. Okay. Appearances are infallible, dependent, and arising. Number 1, dependent origination. Then on the other side, emptiness. Emptiness is the understanding that is free of assertions. meaning that is free of assertions of objective existence. As long as these two are seen as distinct, these two are seen as contradictory. But emptiness is there, you cannot explain dependent origination. You explain dependent origination, you cannot explain emptiness. If this what you say is contradictory, you have not yet realized the intent of the Buddha. So you're getting it? Emptiness is different, and the dependent origin is different. You still have not understood the real emptiness. You have not realized the intent of the Buddhas. 12. When these two realizations are concurrent, by seeing emptiness, therefore dependent origination is very much infallible. Whereas dependent origination there, you see therefore things should be empty of objective existence. When you see these two things as the complementary, supporting each other, when these two realizations are concurrent meaning that these two complement each other in one person's mind, these two happen together. Concurrent, where the mere sight of infallible dependent origination concurrently destroys all modes of grasping of objective existence through definite discernment. At that time, the analysis of the profound view is perfect. Number 12 is what? Number 12 is the measure of having understood emptiness. Very good. Okay. Number 13. Furthermore, appearances refute the extreme of existence. When things appear, when you see that the flower appears, objectively it is empty. It just appears. It just subjectively appears, objectively is empty. So, furthermore, appearances refute the extreme of existence. Extreme of existence meaning extreme of objective existence. So, you remember last time I said that when you talk about the extremes, there are many technical terms. One is, what we learn is extreme of absolutism and extreme of nihilism. And another vocabulary is extreme of permanence and extreme of impermanence. Still another vocabulary is extreme of existence and extreme of non-existence. They all are synonymous. You're getting it? Extreme of absolutism, extreme of permanence, extreme of existence. These two are synonymous. On the other hand, extreme of nihilism, extreme of impermanence, and extreme of non-existence. These three are synonymous. Simply because of the different vocabularies, don't get confused. Okay. Furthermore, appearances refute the extreme of existence. When you see things appearing, then objectively is empty. Objective existence is refuted. Emptiness, when you see the objective is empty, then the saying that subjectively things operate, but dependent origination, things operate, which means that extreme non-existence, that is refuted, because things still exist on the conventional level. Emptiness refutes the extreme of non-existence. When you understand that emptiness arises in the form of cause and effect, this is a very important concept. And then that particularly when you start getting some understanding of what emptiness is, then these lines you must try to contemplate how it makes sense to you in a very fluid way, in a very easy way, not just forcing yourself to understand it. Say, when you understand that emptiness, what is really there is the emptiness of objective existence. And then from there, all the cause and effect, all these functionalities arise. You're getting it? Arise. Okay. From the projector, it is like from the projector, all the movie comes into being on the screen. So like that, from the emptiness, everything arises. Infallible cause and effect arises. When you understand that emptiness arises in the form of cause and effect, which means that emptiness is one thing, cause and effect is what? Dependent origination. When you see that emptiness is basis from which dependent origination arises, if you see that these two are complementary, then you are not captivated by the view of the extremes, view of the absolutism and the view of nihilism. Okay, done. 14. O my child, once you have thus realized the points of the three principal paths, seek solitude and cultivate strong determination, and quickly reach the final aspired goal. So here, I remember His Holiness that there are many years ago, perhaps 20 years ago, on several occasions when giving this teaching, He's always advised that when you read this, oh my child. Just if you can imagine that Lama Zonga was actually addressing you. Actually, Lama Zonga was addressing his student, who was in the east of Tibet, and Lama Zonga was in the central Tibet. So he was addressing my child, referring to the spiritual child, the But when you read it, then if you can imagine, Lama Zonga was actually addressing you, taking you as his own spiritual child. If you could feel it, it leaves a very strong imprint that you'll be connected with Lama Zonga in the future times. Okay. Oh my child, once you have thus realized the points of three principal paths, once you have understood what they are and how to cultivate, how to generate this, what's the measure of having generated these, then your job is seek solitude and cultivate strong determination and quickly reach the as far aspired goals. Seek solitude. Solitude doesn't mean you have to go to the Himalayas. It simply means that seek solitude from distractions. Seek solitude from distractions to the outside and focus on these 3 points and make sure that the afflictive obscurations are removed by the renunciation and the counter obscurations are removed by the bodhicitta aspiration by using the wisdom of emptiness. So these 3 things, focus on these 3 things in your life, whether you're a monk, nun, lay practitioners, it doesn't matter. Our job is to focus on the study. Of course, the monks and nuns, the benefit is that the entanglement is much less, so you can focus more. But even not only the monks and nuns, even the lay people, you also have to stop the tears. Yes, lay people, they also have to stop tears. Everybody stop tears. So therefore, to stop tears, we have to practice these 3 things. Okay. So, the 3 principles apart by Lama Tsongkhapa, I bow down to the Venerable Lamas. As well as I'm able, I'll explain the essence of all the teachings of Buddha, the path praised by the Congress children, the entrance for those who desire liberation. Listen to the clear mind, you fortunate ones who are not attached to the joy of second existence. Strive to make good use of relation opportunity and direct your minds to the path that pleases Buddhas. Without pure renunciation and enter attraction for the pleasure of second existence unattainable, and craving existence also binds beings. Thus from the outset seek renunciation. Okay, let us all read this together from the beginning. And just see if you can meanings be reflected more in comparison with before the teaching. The 3 principles was apart by Lama Tsongkhapa. I bow down to the Venerable Lamas. As well as I'm able, I will explain the essence of all the teachings of the Buddhas, the path praised by the conqueror's children, the entrance for those who desire liberation. Listen with a clear mind, you fortunate ones, who are not attached to the joys of second existence. Strive to get good use of relation opportunity to the path that pleases the Buddhas. Without renunciation and enter attraction, second existence are unattainable. The craving for existence also binds beings. Thus from the outset seek renunciation. Reverse the attraction to this life by reflecting on how leisure and opportunity are difficult to find and how life is ephemeral and without span. Reverse the attraction to future lives by repeatedly thinking of the infallibility of karmas and its effects and the miseries of samsara. Contemplating thus, when for an instant you do not admire the splendors of second existence and remain intent on liberation day and night, renunciation is born in you then. Renunciation, if not tempered by pure mind of bodhicitta, however, will not bring forth the perfect bliss of unsurpassed enlightenment. Therefore, the wise ones generate the excellent mind of bodhicitta. Swept up in the current of 4 powerful rivers, tied by strong bonds of karma so how to undo, caught in the iron net of self-grasping, completely enveloped by the darkness of ignorance, born and reborn in boundless cyclic existence, ceaselessly tormented by the 3 miseries. Thinking of your mothers in this condition, generate the supreme mind of bodhicitta. Although you train without wisdom that realizes ultimate reality, you cannot cut the root of cyclic existence. Therefore, strive to understand dependent arising. One who sees the infallible cause and effect of all phenomena in samsara and nirvana and destroys all focus of apprehension has entered the path which pleases Buddhas. Appearance of infallible dependent arising, emptiness of understanding that is free of assertions. As long as these two are seen as distinct, you have not yet realized the intent of the Buddhas. When these two realizations are concurrent, where the mere sight of infallible dependent origination concurrently destroys all modes of grasping through definite discernment, at that time the analysis of the profound view is perfected. Furthermore, appearances refute the extreme of existence, emptiness refutes the extreme of non-existence. When you understand that emptiness arises in the form of cause and effect, you are not captivated by the view of extremes. O my child, once you have thus realized the points of the three principal paths, seek solitude and cultivate strong determination, and quickly reach the final aspired goal. Okay, we have a few questions here. I'm going to quickly do these questions. Okay, first question is very complicated. It says, in Tibetan, it says, Sim Tsam Be Chidun Ke Lingi Yo Mare, Tene Dute Dul Tamota, Ko Pumba Soya Meba Repes. Okay, so the question is that, according to Chitta Matra school, who doesn't believe in external reality. So this is something maybe new for many newcomers. That would be very helpful for us, even to hear these. There's one school, Chidama school, who doesn't accept externality. Everything's like pure dream, where only the mind exists, nothing external exists. The flower exists, but the flower, it doesn't exist as external. It exists like the reflection in your mind, nature of the mind. Everything is nature of the mind. Nothing exists as external. Okay, if that is the case, then the question is, if that is the case, then is it that the Chittamatra does not accept the particles? Chittamatra does not accept particles, and it does not accept the objects like the pillars, the vase, and so forth. So the answer is Chittamatra does accept. If Chittamatra says no, house, nothing exists, this is nihilism. So for Chittamatra, house, pillar, the vase, all this exists, paragliders, everything exists, but they don't exist externally. Then how do they exist? If they don't exist externally, how do they exist? How do they exist? It should not contradict the Chittamata's philosophy. How do they exist? They exist as nature of the mind. Don't say they are mind. These are not mind. They're the nature of your mind. In other words, Chittamatra does not say that everything is mind. Chittamatra says that everything is the nature of the mind. You're getting it? Which means it rejects externality. There's no external things there. That we say that, oh, I came from outside, and now after this I go outside. Outside, inside, this is just illusion. There's no external there, according to Chittamatra. The next question is, Su shebe tangi zamda su tope tabazam tingi da keba yuritu. The question is very good. So Chittamatra will say that the physical form is the nature of the mind. And then there's another philosophy, Madhyamic philosophy, which says that the form, physical form, is imputed by your mind. Is there any difference between these two things? That the physical form, let's say the flower exists as the nature of the mind, which, who says it? Chittamatra says this. And then one says that this flower is imputed by your mind. Who says it? Madhyamaka school, middle way school says this. So is there a difference between the two? This question, is there difference? Yes, there's a huge difference. And some philosophers, and of course I cannot blame them, that we are really spoon-fed by our teachers. We are spoon-fed by the teachers. We are spoon-fed by the Nalanda masters. Are Nigarjan, Acharya Chandrakirti, Bodhisattva Are Deva, then Bodhisattva Shanti Deva, Bodhisattva the Shanti Rakshita, Acharya Dignaga, Acharya Dharmakirti, all these teachers, they spoon-fed us with all the details given. So it makes things so easy for us. But many people, they don't get this opportunity to study these systematically. So some professors I know who are extremely senior, and the one passed away actually, very senior and respected by many as expert on Buddhism and Hinduism both. But actually his understanding of Buddhism is not really good. Because at one point in a big conference, he's respected. He said, in Buddhism, there's nothing exists. First he said, in Buddhism, there's no self. Does he really mean it? This was what came to my mind. I couldn't believe that he's saying this. And then the person again asked more questions. Then he said, but nothing exists. Buddha said, everything's nature, emptiness, selflessness. Everything's empty. I was literally shocked. So, in other words, on this when some of these people who just read the text without the proper learning, they think that Chittamatra philosophy and the Madhyamika philosophy, these two are the same. Chittamatra says, everything is nature of the mind. Mind is subject or object. Subject. And Madhyamika says, everything is projection of mind. Mind is object, subject. Subject. Both schools say that everything is mind. It's just subject. So these two are the same. This is too naive. This is not the philosophy. So what's the difference? There are these subtle nuances there. The nuance differences there. These can be seen only when you go through the more sophisticated discussions and analysis and inquiries. The distinction that I like to make is that, what distinction? What distinction? Yes, Jimela.
Is flower nature, mind, or beauty?
Yes, how the flower is the nature. What is meant by natural mind versus how the flower is imputed by your mind? What's the difference? Thank you. So what's the difference? For this, I'm going to give you a metaphor. And in fact, if you get this distinction correctly, it's amazing. In a few minutes, you are getting this philosophy, which people spend years and years and years, 20, 30 years, you're getting in a few seconds. That's amazing. So you must be a very, what? Not fortunate. Very sharp-minded. Sharp faculty bodhisattvas. Just we mention something, you get it. You're getting it. Right? And then the Buddha remained silent for 49 days. Right? And you said, no, Buddha, don't remain silent. Come here. We can understand in a few seconds. Okay, so let me give it the metaphor. Metaphor, I cannot really go into the details. We've just ended the 15 minutes. Oh, 5 minutes. It says 15 minutes. Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, this is very important. The metaphor is that for the, say, Chittamatra philosophy, where the flower is the nature of the mind. Nature of the mind. The metaphor is the mirror and the reflection in the mirror. For Chittamatra, there's no external reality. You're getting it? What is meant by external reality? Say the flower is there, my mind is here. Is there a physical gap? If there's a physical gap, this is known as externality. This is external. This is external from my mind. You're getting it? Where there's a physical gap. Mirror and the reflection in the mirror. Is there a physical gap? There's no physical gap. There's no externality. You're getting it? Now, but how many you have banged against the river? The bangs against the mirror. How many you have banged against the mirror in your life? Don't feel shy. Raise hands. Vedant, Indrajitji, Nir, Ajirji, and Vijayla, Benla, and the Tenzi Chandela, and his Dorji also, and Bhumik also, right? Hey Vijan, why did you bang against the mirror? It pains you. Why did you bang against it? Do you think it's a fun? It's not a fun. Why did you bang against the mirror? Why?
There's space behind.
I thought there is a space behind this. You again, there's a space. There's something external. But actually, what you say is a space is the reflection in the mirror. Reflection mirror in the reflection, there's no gap, space gap. You're getting it? There's no externality there. So for Chittamatra, everything looks like external. This is like the reflection in the mirror. It gives us the illusion that things are external. So where there's no external gap, just as between the mirror and the reflection, all phenomena and your mind, there's no external, there's no the physical gap. It's just a reflection in your mind. This is Chittamatra philosophy. You're getting it? Okay, now next is what? Mother Moon flop. How? How the flower is imputed by mind. How do you understand this? Particularly, I like to relate it in the context of the Prasangika Madhyamaka. Prasangika Madhyamaka says that things are all projected, but there is externality. You getting it? There is externality. So how? So for Prasangika, the best example that I can think of is watching a movie in a movie theater. How many of you have watched a movie in a movie theater? Raise hands. Okay. Raise hands, raise hands, raise hands. Okay, Kukil, tell me, you're watching a movie in a movie theater. Where is the movie? Where is the movie? On the screen. Screen is here. Where's the movie? On the screen. Where is the movie coming from? Eh? Where is the movie coming from? Projector. Where's the projector? Kukil, where's the projector? Behind. Very good. How many agree with Kukil? Raise hands. The movie is on the screen, but it's not from the screen. Make this distinction. The movie is on the screen, it's not from the screen, it's from the projector. Projector is behind you. Is there a gap between the projector and the screen? There's a gap. You're getting it? That gap is externality. And then the movie is coming from the screen or from the projector? It's coming from the projector. Projector is your mind. Your mind, and what is projected, there's a space gap. But that what is projected is coming from your mind. So there's a projection by your mind, but there's externality there. This is Prasangika philosophy. You getting it? You got it, Jamila? Good. Okay. Whose question is this? Huh? Whose question is this? Children's question. Wow. Very complicated question. Thank you, Chudranla. Okay. Children, but you are yet to study this. How come that you came up with these questions? You're all studying? Wow. You're self-initiative studying, like myself when I was your age. Okay, good. Thank you so much. The question is very good. The next. Okay, this is an interesting question. Can amoeba become a Buddha? If yes, whose question is this? It's very interesting. Whose question is? Okay, thank you. If there's nobody who asks a question, I'll put it down. I'll not answer. Right? If the person is missing here, if the person who asked the question is missing, I'll not give the answer. Okay, so here. Can amoeba become Buddha? If yes, then how it does not have the intelligence that human beings have? Okay, so for example, let's say, that, okay, who is the fastest man in the world today? Usain Bolt, right? Okay, so one day what I do is that, say the Rina is there, and I told Rina that I will bring the fastest man in the world. And then somebody comes in the spacesuit, very bulky spacesuit. And I said, Rina, no, this is the fastest man in the world. Okay. Yes, so you're so excited because you know that the what is that? The record is 9.36. Are you sure? Okay, let's say 9.36. I don't think it's 36. 9.56 or something. 58, right? Okay, Tuptenla, what's the record? 9 point? You don't know. Okay, who said it? Okay, oh, it's Dr. Pinzola. 9.58. Wow, this is amazing. Very positive. Oh, okay, 9.58. So Rina knows that, 9.58. Okay, now Rina said, hey, now run in spacesuit, right? Hey, run. I'm expecting you. I will the stopwatch 5.8, right? And he runs 15.8, right? And you are supposed to be the fastest man, but you cannot run. Why? Rina. Exactly. He is trapped in this spacesuit. Therefore, he cannot run according to his potential. Like was amoeba. The poor amoeba, his or her mind is trapped in this amoeba's body. Therefore, he or she cannot display the intelligence as much as he has. You getting it? Good. Of course, answer is yes. All sentient beings, anyone who has a mind, not yet a Buddha, but having a mind, should necessarily have the capacity to become Buddha. Everyone. Why I'm putting this down? Because some of them I already answered in the earlier classes. And there's a few questions already. This is a good question. Who asked this? If mental factor of intention is always present in our mind, does it mean that 24/7 we are creating karmas? Very good question. Who is that? Okay, Manla. Very good question. Okay. Answer is yes. Answer is yes. Karmas, they're positive, negative, neutral. Yes, 24/7 we're creating karmas. 24/7 we're under the force of ignorance, contamination, and the intention is there. So intention, where the feeling is neutral, the karma is neutral karma. When the feeling is positive, you say pleasant, attachment. But the pleasant is feeling is unpleasant, then the affliction is aversion, and then accordingly they accumulate karma. And then the karma can be something, let's say, positive, then it's virtuous but contaminated, and the karma is destructive, giving rise to unpleasant feelings, then this is the non-virtuous karma. Okay. Okay, this I already explained it. Somebody to introduce Buddhism at a young age, if he starts learning Buddhism at a very young age, shouldn't he get distracted from his career if he thinks all the things happen in his life as impermanent? Right? Or already answered? But whose question is this? Who's he? Okay. Okay, this is a good question. If form and formless realm, I don't know what this is, exists in samsara, in the wheel of life, and the 12 links of dependent origination, okay, are the 12 links of dependent origination applicable to these two realms, form and formless? Whose question is this? Whose question? Okay, this is a good question. So 12 links of dependent origination is predominantly related to the human realm, not for the form and formless. Not for the form and formless. In form and formless, we have to, for example, like in the mother's womb, ortal cut, no form and formless, there's no mother's womb. In the form and formless, a mother's womb, then what? Then there's the sense source is developing. No, in the form, the moment you are born there, instant all the senses come right away. In the human realm, it doesn't happen. It gradually develops. So it's applicable only to the human realm, desire realm, more precisely human realm. Yeah. Okay. Then the number 3. Can the mind be subjected to ultimate analysis? If so, the mind as subject is ultimate analysis. Is it empty of objective existence too? Everything is empty of objective existence. Everything, including mind, including emptiness. Everything is empty object of existence. So, Ishramala, ultimately nothing is there. Conventionally, everything is there. Don't just focus on ultimately nothing is there, right? It can be very misleading because when it's ultimately nothing is there, you are mixing with how the word ultimate is used in the conventional sense. Say, for example, oh, ultimately everybody will die. It's very passive. It makes you very negative. Everything, ultimately, we have to live. Everything will be. Everybody will die, right? What's the point? So, same. Ultimately, that ultimate and how we say ultimately nothing. Everybody will die. That ultimate is not actually ultimate. This is conventional. So in the conventional sense, there are various levels of conventionalities. Some conventional, ordinary people say it's ultimate. So ultimate as opposed to convention, that ultimate is very different. So we have to always balance. Otherwise, for example, how many of you keep watching a movie on, let's say killing, and then bullying. Just keep watching this. And particularly killing, bullying small children all the time. Keep watching it, it'll make you crazy. You're getting it? Don't keep watching that all the time. Is that true? That's true. But balance it because we are so immature. We have to balance it, watch this, and also watch something very positive. People helping, rescuing, both. You're getting, not always one side. So like, ultimately nothing exists. No full stop. Ultimately nothing exists. Conventional, everything exists. Add this. Otherwise, it can give us a very negative sense. It can make us very passive in our thinking. Okay, final question. Okay, if the mind and karmic impressions finds existence in places like Earth, coming from other places, and will continue to go to some other planets, where did this impression begin? Whose question is this? Okay, good, thank you. Okay, say the impression meaning the karmic seeds, karmic impressions. Karmic impressions and karmic seeds, karmic impression, karmic seeds, karma, your mind, yourself, the person. These are all always together. Not that impression comes first, then the person comes later. No. Because the person came from when? How many years ago? Person came from? That is Homo sapiens, not the person. Homo sapiens came from 0.3 million years ago. Person, the person. Even the Homo sapiens, they came from, there's a former. So how long should we go? At infinity. You're getting it? At infinity. So the person, infinity. Karmic imprints, infinity. Karma, infinity, which means that you point to one point very, very long time back in the past of the impressions. That impression, together with that impression, there's a person. And before that, there was a person. That person accumulated this impression. And that person also has another impression from the previous. So it goes ad infinitum. Okay. Well, this is interesting. If the answer is that there's no beginning, it's beginningless, then the effect should be also endless. In this line of argument, it means samsara will continue forever, so all sentient beings cannot be liberated. That's amazing. Very good question. Okay. Bodhisattva Arideva. In the text, 400 verses. We must study this. 400 verses, it gives the answer to this. It says that there's no beginning, but with the end. If there's end or not, it says, for the wise there is an end, for the unwise there is no end. For the wise there is end of samsara. How? By by generating the wisdom of emptiness. Generating wisdom of emptiness, self-grasping ignorance cut, samsara stops. Unwise will not generate the wisdom of emptiness, will continue. For the unwise, samsara is endless. For the wise, samsara has end. This is answer given. Oh, with a beautiful prayer. Thank you, Kukil. May all beings be happy and free. May all beings be in love's embrace. Beautiful. Oh, there's another one. Okay, so this question needs more clarity. It says, what happens to the mind which gets freed from impressions post-enlightenment? After attaining enlightenment, what happens to the mind? The mind, in simple terms, the mind, so complete enlightenment. So partial enlightenment, again, this is a journey to complete. Complete enlightenment, what happens to the mind? That mind manifests its true nature, which is like the light. Light trapped in a vase, a pitcher, or a pot. That pot is the mental defilements. The light is our true nature, Buddha nature. Each one of us. You break the pot. What happens to light? The light will then manifest true nature. What's the true nature of this light? To be trapped or to flow freely. Flow freely. The mind travels freely to every atom of the universe. This is when I say my eye comes in contact with the flower, I cognize the flower. I come in contact with all the atoms of the universe, I know all the atoms of the universe. I come in contact with all the minds of sentient beings, I know every mind of the sentient beings. That is when your mind manifests true nature, then the cognitive obscurations is cleared, is removed, because it knows every phenomena. That is the true nature, when it's manifests true nature. So, impression meaning negative impressions, distorted impressions, or the imprints, they're all gone. Okay, good. Okay. Yes, Manla.
Additional question, which was that for Aranagathana's verse, the seeding of Dharma.
Yes, I noticed that. So, is it only for the afflictions? Is it applicable to karmas also? This is your question. Then?
If I'm creating virtuous mental, if my acts are driven by virtuous mental factors, then is it not included in this verse?
Why not?
Because this one talks about how the afflictions come about. So, because
okay, Mike. Okay, Manla, start from beginning. This is a good question.
So I was asking that for Arya Nagarjuna's verse, the ceasing of karmas and afflictions is nirvana. Whether this verse applies only to the arising of afflictions. Because even if we have self-grasping ignorance, but our actions is motivated by a virtuous mental factor, then is it included in how it arises in this particular verse?
Okay, good question. Did you all follow the question? Why not responding? Because of the lunch? Right. Yes. Did you all follow the question? No. No or yes? Okay, you could not follow the question. Want to repeat it?
Sorry, maybe instead of referring to Arya Nagarjuna's verse, just to remember the 5 points where our miseries arise. So Geshe was tracing the 5 points, which is our miseries arise, immediate cause is contaminated karmas. Then the immediate cause of the contaminated karmas is afflictions. Then inappropriate attention and self-grasping ignorance. So I was asking whether this particular verse or these steps only refers to the arising of the afflictions, because we can have the self-grasping ignorance,
afflictions, or to the
a growth of afflictions, the
or-
attachment and anger.
afflictions or non-virtuous karma.
Yeah, not
Which-
not
which-
afflictions driving non-virtuous
Non-virtuous
karmas.
karma,
Yeah.
or is it applicable also to the virtuous karma?
Yes. So
Okay,
at the
so
point of
suppression.
so at the point of the afflictions, so self-grasping ignorance, maybe inappropriate attention, but maybe not even that. But in between, you have a virtuous mental factor, like maybe wanting to be a Buddha or aspirations, and then you act on that basis. You make prostrations, and then of course you have contaminated, but it's contaminated positive karmas, and you do enjoy mundane happiness. Yeah.
So
So whether this verse,
you got the answer or not?
yeah. So I
from
thought it
your-
applies only to the arising of the
From
afflictions.
your point of view, it's applicable to both.
No, I thought it applies only to afflictions.
Okay, from your point of view, it's not applicable to the virtuous karma,
Yes, yeah.
arising of virtuous karma.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me just see if I can paraphrase or repeat Mana's question. The question is that this sequence taught in the verse by Aranyaka, six karmas, afflictions, six nirvana, is that applicable only to the afflictions and the non-virtuous karma, or is also applicable to the virtuous karma? For example, how we said is, okay, I don't know whether we said it here. Yes, I think we said it here. Same, first seeing the dream mobile as real mobile. We did it here. We did it? Okay, so the newcomers, if you say yes, then I trust you. The others I don't trust because they heard it so many times. Okay. So you first see the dream mobile as a real mobile, exaggerating the object. Then you see the mobile as brand new iPhone 16 Pro Max, exaggerating the quality of the object, number two. Then you feel attached to the mobile, and then you feel competitive. Okay, Omar is missing. Okay, okay, don't worry. Say with this, then you have a fist fight with Omar. That's a karma, and then you enter into misery, samsara. Right? This is what we said. So this is from how we explained it is about the negative karmas. Is it applicable? These five things, are they applicable to the positive karmas also? This is a question. Could you follow? Good. So the answer is yes, it is applicable to the positive karma also. How? Let's say that, for example, let's say that I feel that this was so beautiful, it's so beautiful, right? It's so beautiful. I've offered this to the Buddha. You're getting it? Say, first I see an object real flower, number one. And I see that this is, which is more beautiful, this or this one? The pink one or the white one? Oh, this is so beautiful, right? Actually, there are many more other flowers which are more beautiful than this. But in comparing these two, we say this is so beautiful, right? Absolutely beautiful, exaggerated qualities. Oh, I'll offer this to Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. You're getting it? It's so beautiful. Attachment comes. And so this attachment, because of my other imprints of, say, respect for Buddha and so forth, that makes me to think, I'll offer this to Buddhas, right? And then I'll go to offer it. For example, like, and this, did I share this story? The monk with the beautiful voice. Giving him a Sunday. Oh, okay, not in this class. Okay, in the diploma course. Yes. Okay. So this is it. So first you see like subjective flower as object real, number one. Then you see this is so beautiful, number two. Then I feel attached to this, number three, affliction. Then the next thought comes, I like to offer to the Buddha. You're getting it? It's virtuous. Then I offer it, positive karma. Then the result is that I'm in the future lifetimes, maybe I have a very beautiful body or whatever. This comes. This is the result. But that beautiful body, this is a samsaric body. It is what? Suffering of change. It's a kind of suffering change. That's the result. It's a samsara. So therefore, it's applicable to the virtuous karma also, not only a negative karma. Good? Yes, Manda.
But what if we use the example of, like, for example, attending this retreat and engaging in Lama studies?
Of course, same. Let's say that first we on day what date was that? First day? 6. So 6 we were all together here. And we are all, say the we are all little, say the what is that? The formal, right? Because we don't know the other person so well. So when I say, okay, now stretch your arms, you stretch your arms. Only one arm. And I'm not worried you will stab the other person. Why? Because you don't know the other person. You're getting it? So I said, I'm not worried. And then gradually you come to know each other well. And this is what usually was absent in your place. Everybody's smiling because they don't worry about the other things. Everybody's smiling. You're getting it? And then you have, wow, this is amazing. So you see objectively real people. Then you see objectively, and then you see that they are absolute divine people. You exaggerate qualities. And we never know what each one of us are when we are in the real place. Right? Because at the moment we don't have worries. Everything taken care of by your husband, wife, mother, father, in their respective house. You forget it. Right? You exaggerate qualities. And then on that basis, oh, that's good. That's good. So this Sutra in future, and then during the group discussion, during the meals, lunch, or can we have a group discussion even after this online meeting is possible for emptiness studies? Yes, we'll do that. It's positive, negative. It's a very positive karma. It's a very positive karma. And the consequence that you learn something. And in the future lifetimes, your knowledge is a little boy or little girl. Your knowledge is so good. You're very intelligent. Born is very intelligent boy, girl. That's a positive karma. So this positive karma is resulted in samsara. That is a samsara result in samsara. It is a positive, but this is the result of the virtue that accumulated through this. And this virtue came from, say, the attachment. It's so good, right? It's so good. Diabag is amazing. And people around is amazing. So good. There's attachment there. Attachment does not necessarily mean the very, very, very negative sense. Even attachment to for example, you see the Buddha picture. Wow, it's so good. The book is so good. Weather is so good. What's wrong? But there's still attachment. You're getting it? Applicable. Yeah, okay. Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasam Gati Bodhisvatyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasam Gate Bodhisvatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhisvatyata